Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. How we doing this morning on this fine Sunday morning? We got a cat today. Let's make sure our cat cam is on. There he is. There we go. That's true, it is Beck's day off. So, we stopped pretty shortly after you left, Jeep. I'm good. Yeah, we're doing good. So we got past interacting with the fox who disappeared. And the fox told us to meet them behind the school afterward, and we're like, no, we're going straight home. But now we're at school, so we're just about to go in when I stopped it. I also found out something about this game. It's not done. There's supposed to be 5 episodes. They only have 3. The last one, the 3rd episode, came out 2021. So it's been almost 2 years, and there hasn't been another episode. So I have a feeling there's going to be some sort of cliffhanger at the end of the 3rd episode. We're on episode 2 already, so I'm a little disappointed to hear that, but we'll figure it out. We'll see what happens. Maybe it'll be satisfying enough for now. Benji's being all sweet. Look at him. Yeah, you're being a cutie. Saying hi to everyone. Yeah, what a good boy. Yeah. Why don't you settle down? Lay down. Yeah, I love you too. Yeah. Oh, the flops. Oh, the flops. Ouch. You bit me. Alright. So we're gonna load. So here we are. I think we already looked at this. Yeah. Alright. Let's enter the school. I could hear muffled voices behind the doors, saw blinking lamps. Darkness creeped along the windows, and it felt like the school was drifting in open space, like a lonely, lost spaceship. After going up to the 2nd floor, I noticed a crowd around the notice board. Oh yeah, it's Vova. Everyone was taking part in a lively discussion. Moved closer and took a look at something everyone was interested in through a wall of backpacks. There was a piece of paper with something printed on it glued to the left of the notice board. Vova Matyukin, 10 years old, grade 4. He left his home on January the 5th, around 1600, and never returned. Was last seen at the bridge over the Smorodina River. He was wearing an orange coat with a hood, a black wool cap, a scarf, and mittens with green stripes. Our mitten that we picked up had a green stripe, or had a stripe. I don't know what color it was because it's black and white. Might have had a plastic toy gun on him. Good to know. Features: 142 centimeters tall, skinny, brown hair, and green eyes. Please call these numbers if you have any information on Vova's whereabouts. Child missing? Vova Matukin, that was his name. A 4th grader. On the grainy print, Vova looked dead, with a black mouth and dark, empty eye sockets. Could it be that the darkness dwelling deep in the forest invaded his pores and mutilated his face? A plastic toy gun couldn't protect him from the whispering branches and the howling wind. I'm gonna move chat over just this. Would you like to add emojis to your Discord names? Yes, I would. I would definitely. I don't know how to do that. I tried to figure that out. So, yeah, I would definitely like that. Empty eyes of the lost boy pierced through my soul, as if pleading. Unable to meet his stare, I turned around and rushed to the window. Took a seat on the windowsill. The corridor was slowly filling up with children, in groups of a few. Nobody paid me any mind. In the darkness of school toilets, child voices were hammering a nursery rhyme. For the fox and for the bear, bunny taste meals prepare. Or bunny tasty meals prepare. I turned my head toward them, trying to get a better look at their features. But then my attention was stolen by a loud, clicking sound. A female teacher marched down the corridor with her chin raised up high. Her heels were hitting the floor like miniature hooves. A girl was trailing her every step. She was also looking pompous, stopping along the way and whispering some secret to her friend's ear. She was probably a class rep since she was carrying an attendance register book. Ekaterina, take this, please. The teacher opened the classroom door and the crowd of children swarmed in, screaming and pushing. Oh my. That's what my face looked like when I was in high school. Very much like that. Out of all of them, a tall, red-headed, fat boy caught my attention. His face was full of blisters. It looked like the insides of a pomegranate. A bad feeling rose up the hair on the back of my head. English is a little... I think that's because of translation. I've seen boys like him before. Unsettling eyes, cackling laughter. The girl who was a smaller copy of the teacher warned the boy with a wave of her hand and entered the room through the clearing in the crowd. Some other guy stood in the way of the crowd, and the redhead immediately shoved him. Move your legs, moron! The boy flew headfirst, flailing his hands trying to keep his balance. The fatso burst out laughing, and a couple of kids joined his nasty cackling. The laughter sounded like someone was snipping with huge garden scissors. No problem, Jeeps. The classroom sucked all of the kids in. The corridor stood empty. But what about these two? Okay. There they go. Did I finish my soda? I think I put it down. I wanted to grow roots and stay on the windowsill. Let me go get my soda. I'll be right back. So let's get back into it. I wanted to grow roots and stay on the windowsill. Looks like rabbit tracks there. Just a handful of lampposts outside were battling the darkness, writhing like fluorescent fish in the black ocean. Maybe I can still run away. Go outside, dissolve in the dark. I imagine myself running through the snow, how it squeaks under my boots, and how I'm becoming lighter and lighter with every step. The ringer's thrill blew that illusion away. I tore myself from the window with great effort, and took a couple of deep breaths, trying to at least calm down my mad pulse, and entered the classroom. The prim teacher looked at me over the frame of her glasses, clearly annoyed. I'm the transfer student.
Мне вот сказали к вам
I was
подойти.
told to come here. The snowy forest trail was winding in front of my eyes. The pines rustled, but it didn't sound predatory anymore. She buried herself in the register and flicked through the pages. Your last name?
Петров.
Громче говори.
Petrov. Huh. Huh? What's your mumbling there? Say it clearly.
Петров.
Petrov.
Нет такого.
You're not on the list. She measured me with a long and heavy stare, as if trying to see if I was lying. I wanted to sink through the floor. Hazy faces observed all of that from the left. The classroom breathed and snorted in unison, like a living organism, like a dangerous
Ты не
beast.
ошибся?
Are you
Нет
sure?
такого в списке.
I don't have you in my register. My knees chose the worst time to start shaking, and I felt dizzy. I clutched my fists so hard my knuckles
Мне
became
сказали,
white.
204 кабинет.
They told me to come to the classroom 204 and ask for Lilia Pavlovna, class 6C. Apparently everyone in the classroom took my words for some sort of joke because they were all laughing. What's wrong with the school? The classroom fell silent. The kids hid their smirks for a better
Пронаберут
occasion.
студентов.
Why do we hire so many
Только знают, что
interns?
кубяки свои малевать.
They all
А я
know how
разливай, значит.
to put lipstick over their bulging lips, but when it comes to real problems, I have to solve everything.
Бумаги-то кто заполнять будет? Не
How
первый
did they
раз ведь
send
уже.
you here without any proper paperwork? We've had the same thing happen so many
Подожди
times
здесь.
already.
Сейчас.
Wait here. I'll be back.
Сейчас я им устрою.
After I have a little chat with them. The teacher flew past me, mumbling something to herself in righteous anger, and I was left standing at the center of the classroom. Like a convict in front of a firing squad, I lowered my gaze, feeling the mocking stares from all around the classroom directed at me. They pricked my skin, danced on it like laser sights. Once again, I imagined running away from this place, fighting the clawing wind, soaring high above the pines in one long jump, with the wind in my back as my only companion. The eyes of my future classmates were asking, "This new boy, is he one of us? An outsider?" Somebody whispered something and stifled laughter rolled through the classroom. Wipe the board! It was easy to guess who was the main prankster here. Hey, Four Eyes! Are you not only blind but also deaf? I said, wipe the board! My knees weren't the only shaking part of my body anymore. I was trembling from head to toe, and I prayed for the teacher to come back soon. My prayers were answered by the powers that be.
Ну что мне с тобой делать-то?
And what should I do with
Куда
you
сажать,
now?
а?
Where will you
Давайте
sit?
сядь, наверное, с Семёном.
Oh well, you can sit with Semyon, I guess. He's alone anyway. No way. The fatso put his backpack on the seat beside him in defiance, scratched his belly, and smirked.
Ты опять за старое?
Are you back to your old
Снова бабушку в
tricks?
школу вызывать?
Should I call your grandma here again? The classroom went silent.
Чё она мне сделает?
And what's she gonna do?
Не она, так я тебе сделаю.
I'll bet the one to do. I'll be the one to do something if she
Рюкзак убрал
doesn't.
быстро.
Put away your backpack now. Semyon didn't move a muscle. He started studying the portraits of writers on the wall, looking bored. I needed to do something to resolve this somehow, to save myself. Oops. Okay. I cleared my throat and continued in a stifled voice that sounded nothing like me. I can sit in the last row. I think there's a free seat. The teacher snorted loudly. She looked at me, then at Semyon,
Ладно.
then back at me.
Садись пока тут.
Fine, go there for
А с
now.
тобой, Бабурин, мы еще
And
поговорим.
you, Baburin, I'll have a talk with you later. Hey, Slipboy Sniper, how are you?
Чтобы подошел после уроков.
Come to me after
Будешь
classes.
по классу дежурить, ясно?
You'll be on cleaning duty. Got it? Semyon forced out a twisted smile. Juicy pimples were growing on the tip of his nose, ripe for the taking. I'm excellent. I assume you've played this game? I walked carefully, afraid to stumble and fall, causing another outburst of laughter from everyone. I took my seat at the back at the last table, where I was met with a pile of old posters. The outcasts took their seats, and the class was ready to
Вот и
start.
хорошо. Начнем урок.
Now that this is settled, let's start the
Тема.
class.
Традиции русской и мировой
Today's theme
литературы
is
в рассказе
Russian,
Зощенко
traditions of
«Не
Russian
надо врать».
and the international literature in Zoshenko's Don't Lie. The fatso turned to me. His stare informed me of the coming days, weeks, and months of bullying. I've got my eyes on you, said his watery look. After just a couple of periods, I had already noticed a huge yellow spit stain in my notebook. Wow. Then at the cafeteria, this Semyon accidentally spilled a glass of compote on me. Oop. So compote is a dessert drink brewed from a mix of dry fruit and berries. And then he flailed his hands around after exiting the toilet so some of the liquid from his hands would get on me. Just before the final period for today, Semyon pushed me into a buzzing crowd of girls from our class. They made way, cursing, but I couldn't hold my balance and ended up ramming my face into the girl I took for the class rep before, right in her chest. Ow! I immediately stepped back, dying from embarrassment. I'm sorry, are you alright? I? Then she suddenly put her hands to her hips. Will you look at him? Groping me in front of everyone. I'll tell my mom. They'll expel you, pervert. There was some sort of sadistic pleasure in her eyes, as if she was a child who was about to put up a lit match to a chaffer beetle. There is some bad translation I saw.
Я нечаянно, меня толкнули.
I didn't mean to. He pushed me. We all saw that, you know. No blind among us. She stared at my glasses while showing me a creepy smile. I started to fume on the inside, but Semyon's laughter cooled my head.
Толкнули? Чё,
I pushed you? You sure? He swaggered up to me, enveloping me in the smell of sunflower seeds and rotting teeth, and then pushed me to the ground.
Вот так, да? И чё
Like
ты
this, huh?
делаешь?
What you gonna do now? So I have a friend of mine who really likes playing visual novel games, and we challenge each other to play games every year. And this is the game he challenged me to do. Excellent jeepers. I know you don't like doing dishes, so congrats there. The Bully Tower. So I also sleep. Is it Slepoi or yeah? Is it Slepoi? Or would you prefer if I called you Sniper? I hear this game is unfinished. That there's still 2 episodes left that haven't been released yet. You can just be a sniper. Okay. The episode in game 3, the 4th, will be very soon. He's ready for 95%. Okay, cool. So So this is episode 2, right? So we have one more episode after this one, and then the 4th one will be out very soon. Excellent. And then there will be one more episode, I believe. There'll be 5 in total. The bully towered over me, as if saying, "Come on, hit me. Let me see you try." Okay, so we can either fight back or endure. But it looks like we're fighting. Alright, so we're fighting.
Слушай, ты...
Listen, you. Listen, you. My throat went dry, my lips were moving on their own, and my voice was akin to a stifled squeal. Semyon wore a
Давай,
mocking
давай,
smile.
продолжай, очкарик.
Go on,
Чё
Four
привёл-то?
Eyes. Why did you
А
stop?
всем очень.
We're all waiting.
Ещё хоть раз меня
If you ever
тронешь.
touch me again. Semyon slowly stuck out a finger and poked my forehead.
Натронул, и чё?
I did. So
Ещё
what?
хоть раз
If you ever do it again.
тронул.
Here.
Вот ещё,
Once more.
ещё,
And again.
ещё,
And again.
ещё.
And again. He was poking me with his finger so hard that my head tilted backward. I must not cry, or I'll be done for.
Чё ты мне сделаешь, мямля?
What will a wimp like you do to me? My vision went blurry. My soles tore off from the floor. I rushed forward and threw a random punch without looking. What I saw when I opened my eyes was beautiful and horrifying at the same time. Semyon was holding his ear and blinking in amazement. We got the achievement for no pain. Was I the first person to rebel against his absolute rule?
Эна,
I needed to run, but I was already surrounded by his cronies. Lilia Pavlovna! Petrov just hit Bourbon. Semyon's cheeks grew even redder, and his pimples even whiter, like the heads of larvae. But his smile flashed on his face. That was only noticed among his comrades. He got really close to me. The smell of rotten teeth washed over me. You
пиздец.
are fucking done. His voice was evil and dangerous, like someone tore off the lid from a kettle with boiling fat. I was waiting to get hit, counting the thumps of my heart and guessing where his fist would go. The solar plexus, the jaw, the nose. But he just turned around and walked off. A thought, cold and sober and extremely rational, popped into my head. I'm gonna get killed today. How do I like the first screamer? The first screamer, you mean the jump scares from earlier? I was late to leave the school after classes on purpose. Semyon didn't attend the last period, so I was hopeful. What if he decided to dodge the cleaning duty and ran home, forgetting all about me? I heaved a smile of relief like someone on death row whose execution was delayed by a day. But I didn't let myself forget his tone, his vengeful gaze, and his scary, electrified smirk. While the other students were leaving the school laughing loudly, I was pretending to skim through my books near a window. I was staring outside, nervous. Semyon was nowhere to be found in the front yard or near the school gate. I didn't really believe I was this lucky, so I decided to be extra cautious and stayed for some more time in the corridor that was gradually getting less crowded. All of the bustle moved to the first floor. There was a skeleton peeking out of the biology classroom. Some jokester put a cap with the American condor on its head. The sound of running water was coming from the bathroom. I was the only person left in the whole school. I'm not alone, a sudden thought came to mind. I remembered the missing boy. His portrait was on the notice board near the schedule. I remembered his smile. Oh, it kind of reminds me of the foxes. Him looking at me. And that the fact that he's most likely dead already. Hello? I shuddered and turned around. At first my eyes stumbled upon the black violin case. Then I noticed a girl from my class was holding it. She sat in the first row of the second column. I could swear I caught her looking at me a couple of times. And I was sneaking glances at her myself. Sometimes it just feels nice to look at something pretty. The spring, the sky, or a girl that's not in the crowd that laughs at Semyon's jokes. And she wasn't whispering the dirty laundry of other people to Katya. She spent all the breaks just like me, staying in the classroom or looking in the window or drawing something in her green notebook.
Здравствуй.
Hello. I turned red and pretended I was studying the pattern of the wooden floor.
Круто ты ему врезал.
It was cool, the way you hit it.
Это вышло случайно. Почти.
It was just an accident. Almost. I started shoving books in my backpack to at least put something in my hands.
Раньше таким не был.
Semyon wasn't like that
Он к
before.
нам недавно перевелся.
He also transferred here just recently.
Бабушка мне его по секрету сказала, что
His grandma told me that it almost felt like he went mad.
даже старшеклассники побаиваются.
Even the upperclassmen feel Semyon, did you
А ты
know?
вот молодец.
But you're different.
Струсил.
You're brave.
Угу.
I mumbled in reply. Yeah, right. Me, brave? A hero that has been standing around in the hallway to avoid a beating. The girl looked at me with her clear, attentive eyes. Do you live over the river?
В том деревянном доме?
In that wooden house?
Да.
Yeah.
Наверное, страшно.
Must be scary living there.
Еще через лес идти.
And you also have to cross the
Я бы
forest.
так не смогла.
I wouldn't be able to do that. I shivered at the mention of the forest. I thought of intertwining branches of a snake-like trail of endless darkness that spread like mold among the crooked trees. So I straight up lied.
Не так уж там страшно.
It's not that scary.
Что тебя так пугает?
What's so scary about it for you? She smiled after a brief pause, as if brushing off a daydream.
Ничего.
Well, actually, never
Меня,
mind.
кстати, Полина зовут.
My name is Polina, by the way.
И Антон.
And I'm Anton.
Это я знаю.
I already know that.
Слушай, Антон.
Hey, Anton? She stumbled as if trying to decide whether she
А
should
что ты
continue.
делаешь после школы?
What are you doing after school? My chest felt prickly after her innocent question. It felt
Ничего
pleasant.
такого.
Nothing much. I stumbled and didn't finish my sentence. Yeah, don't forget about the fox. Elisa's predatory smile flashed in front of my eyes. Her playful eyes in the slits of the mask were probably just a product of my imagination, though. What if that fox girl is waiting for me after the school? Or was it another of her weird jokes? I wonder if she's hiding a big red tail under that coat. I suddenly got covered with beads of sweat like after PE class. I wanted to take a shower, as if just thinking of the foxy girl made me dirty, soiled my clothes, lured me into the forest's embrace.
У меня сейчас занятие, скрипка, а потом
I
я
have a
свободна.
violin lesson, and then I'll be free.
Дедушка мне
Welcome back,
репетитора
Jeepers. And back, good morning. My grandpa hired me a private tutor.
Наш учитель музыки, он же скрипач.
Our music teacher is a violinist,
Здесь, в
and he
поселке,
doesn't have
ему
anyone
некуда
to teach
преподавать.
here,
Только
except for me. That illustration of a hand is really nice. A little pointy on the thumb, but otherwise very nice. She waves her hand in the air, imitating the movement of a bow on violin strings. I can almost hear the music. It chased Elisa out of my head. I looked at Polina's lips, catching her every word, and was frozen from the unusual sensations. They were warm, soothing, and tingly. It felt like I was very small, and the feelings were immense, and they couldn't fit inside me.
говорят, что у нас в поселке маньяк завелся.
They say there's a serial killer on the loose in the village.
Раньше со школы меня всегда дедушка забирал.
Normally, Grandpa
но в
would
последнее
escort me
время
home
за
from
нами
school, but
гоняется.
he's been sick lately. I snuck a glance at Vova's picture. Oh, it's getting even worse. The eyebrows. His eyewells were studying me. His lips were wearing black lipstick. Just like the portrait on a
Ты
gravestone.
не подумай, я не трусишка, просто
I mean, I'm not a coward. It's just...
мне кажется, что с тобой будет
I think I'll be
безопаснее.
safer together with you.
Антон, ты сможешь
Will you
проводить
go
меня
home
до
with
дома?
me, Anton? And there it was. Finally, everything that I read about in the adventure books, everything that I dreamt about was seeping into my life. A mysterious crime, a beautiful stranger, a heroic duel. A duel. Thinking of Semyon instantly sobered me up. It turned me back to earth, and it started shaking under my feet like a deck of a ship. If only I could rise to the occasion in front of Polina. Because no matter how brave I was trying to act, it was obvious for both of us that I wouldn't be able to stand a chance against a big guy like that. And him knocking me out won't even be the worst of it. The worst part is that Polina will see all of that. And she'll laugh at me like everybody else. No. I don't need anybody to see me in such a shameful
Сегодня
state.
вряд ли получится.
I doubt I'll be able to do anything today.
Ты же знаешь, Семен, скорее всего, караулит на
You
школьном
know,
дворе.
Semyon is waiting for me
Лучше мне с
outside.
ним разобраться лично.
I need to deal with him one-on-one, like a man.
Глупости какие.
Nonsense. Polina brushed off some hair off her forehead, and I sensed a weak aroma of blackberry. Polina was like water. When you were thirsty, you gulp it down and still wanted more. I remembered the summer evenings at the country house, the fire's pungent smoke, the berries hanging over our fence from the neighbors, and a soft cover of pine needles under my soles. Those few peaceful days when I felt completely safe. My mom resting in the hammock, my dad putting meat on a skewer. Could I have foreseen the upcoming catastrophe in the crackle of the coals, in our parents' laughs, and the smell of the fleeting July? Could I have seen how fragile that world was?
Думаешь, этот дикарь будет честно драться?
Do you really think that savage will give you a fair fight?
Со своими дружками набросится всем скопом.
He'll just swarm you with his
Опомниться даже не
friends without giving you a chance to catch a breath. Polina suddenly flashed a
дадут.
devious
Но если
smile.
мы пойдем вместе,
But
это
if we
их
go
ошарашит.
together, they will be put off.
Я же не только первая скрипка на деревне.
I'm not only the first violin of this village, I'm also a girl.
Слышала от знакомого хулигана, что
I've
он
heard from a
никогда не
delinquent I
нападает
know
на
that he'll
кого-то в
never
присутствии
attack someone
девушки.
when there's a girl around.
Представляешь, у них кодекс
Can you
чести
imagine?
такой.
They have this weird code of honor. A delinquent, you know. A delinquent, you know? I thought worried. Is he better than me? More taller, more handsome?
Ой, мне на музыку пора.
Oh, I have to go to music class. She made a couple of steps and stopped. Amazing. Helena didn't look like those beauties from the magazine posters or the actresses from the movies. But in the flickering light of the ceiling lamps, she looked much more
А ты
alluring.
играешь на чем-нибудь?
Can you play anything? My parents bought me a guitar a couple of years ago. I immediately remembered my meager attempts at making music. Ahem. Change. We're all waiting for change. Soy's song echoed my thoughts and desire to change something. Viktor Tsoy, a singer and frontman of a popular Soviet rock band, Kino, that played a mix of new wave and post-punk. Their hit song, Paramin, which means changes, is one of the most popular rock tracks of the new Russian era. Died in a car accident. That sucks. That guitar got lost somewhere, as if refusing to move to the old house near the forest. I think my parents gave it away to someone that needed it more.
Увы, не играю.
I don't, sadly.
Жалко.
A pity.
Ну ладно, я побежала.
Oh well, I'll be going.
Пока!
Bye! Her shout was captured by the loud echo. Her shoes also echoed through the school hallways. Bye. I wasn't sure if Polina heard me. I looked out the window again. The schoolyard was empty. Just a couple of grade schoolers throwing snowballs at each other. Nobody who looked like the hulking Semyon with his cronies. This was giving me hope. What should I do? Polina could become my friend, the first one in this new place. And besides, she may be in real danger of meeting a killer, and I'll be her defender, her knight. And even though my inner voice was hesitant and whispered about running away from the killers lurking in the woods at night, Polina was worth the risk. But the red, cunning fox was also intriguing. She promised me to help look for Vova, and this will bring me a reward. More money will almost guarantee peace in my family. Gifts for Olya. I imagined my sister happy like those girls who get prizes from Supanev in the finest hour. Sergei Supanev. I like it, Sniper. It's interesting. The most prolific showman of the Russian kids' TV in the 90s. He hosted teen quizzes as well as computer entertainment shows. Supanev died on December 8th, 2001, when he crashed his snowmobile into a river pier. Oof. She'll be dancing with the famous singers and maybe new popular boys bands like Avenushki International, a Russian boy band that was popular in the 90s and early 2000s and consisted of 3 singers. Its songwriter and vocalist Igor Sorin died to a fall from a 6-story balcony. Jesus. The official police report claimed it to be a suicide. Oleg Yakovlev substituted him in the band and later died from psoriasis. Wow. A lot of tragic deaths here. Mom and Dad hugging in the Austin Kino Pavilion. And then all of us going to Disneyland. Polina, Elisa. So we can choose to visit the fox or visit Polina. We also have other things to look at. Somebody left their school shoes on the windowsill. Judging from their size, they belong to a boy my age. Turn me around and I'll tell you who's stupid. I bet something offensive is written on the other side. I wonder how long would Semyon keep turning it around if it fell into his hands. An abandoned zinc bucket with a rag on the bottom of it, filled to the brim with murky tap water. It reeked of salty chemicals, and the stench was so intense that I felt sick. I staggered away from it, praying that I don't meet the same fate as the person on cleaning duty. Alright, so I think this is going to be one of those choices that Sniper mentioned. So we're going to save this one. I think Polina or Elisa is going to be a whole story arc. So I think Polina is the simple story and Elisa is the more interesting one. That's my theory. But I'm going to let you all decide. And this is a blind playthrough, so Sniper, I know you know what's going to happen. Just be careful about. Don't give me too much, because I want to make sure that we still remain blind. I appreciate that, Sniper. You'd be surprised how many people would do that though, so it's not that I thought you would, I just wanted to make sure. So yeah, anybody who hasn't voted, please do so. There's a pop-up. What should Wombat do? Alright. We are going after Lisa. After closing my backpack, I ran downstairs. Adventure is the achievement. I scanned my surroundings through the window in the main hall. Nobody suspicious in sight. The school doors creaked. The sound was similar to the music from a thriller, the high note that comes before an intense scene. I ran across the school corner trying not to catch anyone's attention. The smell of pastry and burnt sugar wafted from the school cafeteria. I froze when I saw a silhouette in the second floor window. It must be Polina, gliding a bow on violin strings, with her head slightly tilted to the side. I don't see her. I wish I could hear the melody she played, but Polina was only a dark outline on the window's yellow sheet. I dragged my feet forward. Oh, playing hangman. The net on a football goal on the yard fluttered in the wind. Sorry about that. The net on a football goal in the yard fluttered in the wind. Oh, there's somebody here. The same wind that hurled small white whirlwinds through the field. Somewhere nearby, an invisible tractor was humming, scaring away the crowd of cawing birds. The hum of its engine sounded like the howls of hungry beasts that chased me through the snowy desert. Elisa and her scary mask also came to mind. Right now, in the light of day, it was really hard to believe she was real. What did she say back then? At the backyard, near the hanged man. Oh yeah, there's the hanged man. What did she mean by that?
Извините.
Excuse me? The silhouette turned around the corner and walked deeper into the dead end, leaving cigarette smoke in its wake. It was an adult. A teacher, maybe? That's the guy that was, here earlier. That walked away. It's freezing in your house? I'm sorry, Squid. Welcome in. A forest squirrel chomping on sunflower seeds. Someone from the school is probably feeding her. Interesting. Sunflower seeds. That's what... Uh-oh. That's what he sounded like. Oh, there's a needle on the ground here. I looked at the wall. There's a hangman drawn under the thin black line of resin. Someone played the hangman here. Something was scribbled on both sides of the man. Escape, fear, truth. Come closer, sweetheart. Come closer, sweetheart. I shouldn't have clicked on the man first. I should have... Let's, Okay, alright. So I'm gonna actually... Because I wanted to click on the needle. Okay. Okay. Let's click on these. A used syringe among the cigarette butts. I hope somebody just needed an insulin shot. There we go.
Извините.
Excuse me? The silhouette turned around the corner and walked deeper into the dead end, leaving cigarettes. Yeah. Alright, and then we'll click on the squirrel. Alright, now we can do the hangman. Yeah. Because there's nothing else, right? Yeah. Come closer, sweetheart. It took me a while to realize that where the sound was coming from. My eyes strolled through the cul-de-sac at the school backyard, through windows and snow. One of the snow piles started trembling, like a volcano before it erupts. Give me your heart! In the blink of an eye, the white crust crumbled and a fox jumped at me. She made a gracious bow, enjoying the effect her appearance had on me. The silver of snow shined on her coat. I couldn't even imagine that thinking about girls with tails can be this... I don't know what to compare it to. Something infectious? Toxically sweet? Fight back, or my heart is in my... Or your heart is in my bag. She giggled so enthusiastically that it forced me to smile. Oh, come on. I quickly rolled a ball of snow and threw it at Elisa. She tried to dodge, but it was too late. A hit to the shoulder. Oh, you insolent boy! Yeah, that's me. The fox slowly backed down, trying to arm herself. You are sly, but I'm a fox. And I think out of the box. Her retribution was swift. A snowball arched its way around the snowy yard, above the snowy yard, and the ravens flying in the air. I wanted to duck, but slipped and fell to my knees. And while I was getting up, I caught a huge chunk of snow with my face. It burned up from the cold. Yeah, so Sniper, it was just because I missed clicking on the syringe, and I wanted to make sure that I click on everything, because I know that's an achievement to click on all the items. It burned up from the cold. I swore loudly from immense disappointment. Using the words I heard in Sectors Gaza's songs on the cassettes I hid from my parents. A Soviet and Russian band that played the so-called Klokhoz hillbilly punk, founded by songwriter and singer Yuri Klinkskink Yurakoi. The band often paid homages to popular Western rock bands and used a lot of profanity and fairy tale themes in their lyrics. supposedly died from overdosing on drugs. Hooray, jeepers. If Dad heard this, he would have definitely gave me a good whipping. He had very low tolerance toward obscene words and always communicated in clean Russian. Benji needs to get out, so one sec. Alright, let's remove the cat cam. Alright. He's such a needy child.
Да ладно тебе.
Oh, come on.
Не больно же совсем.
It can't hurt that much. She brushed off my hood as if to show compassion, took me by the elbow, and helped me get up. With care uncharacteristic for a child, she took off my glasses, blew away the snowflakes that were stuck to them, and handed them back.
Вот так. 1-1, Тоша.
Now we're even, Tosha. Only people who were close to me called me that. And I hadn't even seen her real face, didn't know her last name, what class she was from, and if she had a real tail under her coat.
Желаешь отыграться?
Want to go
Мы
get
хотели
ahead?
поискать Вову, помнишь?
We were going to look for Vova. We were going to look for Vova,
Нужно
remember?
торопиться, а то меня родители
We'd better
станут
hurry
искать.
before my parents start looking for me. The fox let out a lazy yawn.
Родители.
See, now I don't like that. I don't like that you can see a mouth. It's not a mask. It's not a mask. Parents.
Скучно. Да не будь ты таким
Don't be so boring.
Чуть-чуть поиграем.
Let's play for a bit. You're always bored at home anyway. And she knows too much about us.
А ты откуда знаешь?
And how do you know
Тоже мне
that?
тайна.
It's not even a
Со
secret.
взрослыми да в 4 стенах.
It's always
Тоска
way
смертная.
too boring being locked up in a house
У
full
меня
of
от стенок
adults.
взрослых нервный
I get all jittery from both houses and parents, see? Her furry fox brow started twitching. I faked a laugh in reply, unsure whether being able to move parts of her mask like that was genuinely funny or not.
Тоже, Тоша. Решайся.
Come on, Tosha, don't be scared.
Вижу, ты
I can see you want to play.
хочешь
And if you win... The fox girl got dangerously close to me and stood up on her tiptoes, almost touching my face with her rough little nose. Playful fires danced deep in her eyes. She smelled nice, like berries in saccharin. Yeah, for some reason the game was made so that he does not see the obvious moments when it is noticeable that this is a real fox. Yeah. I mean, you can see the eyes underneath, so like, it's like it goes from in and out from being a real mask to being a real fox. Is this the smell of independence and true freedom? I mean, the kind where all you have to do in your life is run wild and eat sweets? Her whisper poured into my ear like scalding hot water.
победишь, буду твоим
If you
провожатым.
win, I'll be your guide.
Есть что тебе
Believe me.
показать.
I have lots of things to show you.
Найдем твоего Вову.
We'll surely find your Vova for one. I felt as if a giant invisible spring bent inside me. My tummy hurt, but the sensation was somehow not exactly unpleasant. It was so weird. I had just had a conversation with Polina, and now Elisa was going to drag me along with her.
А если проиграю?
And what if I lose?
Душу из тебя выцарапаю,
I'll
нежно.
claw out your soul, softy.
Давай, скорей.
Come on, let's go. She burst out laughing, whipped the hem of her coat, and ran toward the road we used to come to school in the morning. Her promise. That sounded almost like a threat. Hypnotized me. I bent down and scooped up some snow. I wish I had a device that could tell whether Elisa was joking or being serious. Or is there always a third option with people like her? Between her jokes, her laughter, and her hot breath on my ear, I wanted to win. To punish her for the lightness and freedom she possessed that was clearly too much for an average girl. When I, on the other hand, was possessed, or rather intoxicated, by the thirst for adventure, by my curiosity. Just like that time when I ate the cherries from my mom's navlika and lied down with my eyes closed while the bed was spinning underneath. A sweet alcoholic drink made from fruits and berries, often called berry vodka, normally contains only 25 to 30% alcohol. Still, for a kid, that's a lot. I spat, then cleaned my lips. Do you want to play, little sister fox? Well then, let's play. I armed myself with a snowball and chased the fleeing fox girl. I saw a familiar street with a wooden post that didn't look scary anymore. They were just logs covered in snow. If I were to shout now, the guard dogs would start barking and their owners would peek out their windows. Elisa's small silhouette was mocking me from far away, so it was useless to try hitting her with a snowball for now. Waste of ammunition. Birches, mutilated by the cold, peeked out to view along the clear road. A giant snowball pile towered near one of the trees. This was probably the place where the tractor brought all the snow from the village. A whole family of foxes would fit in such a pile. No, I thought. She's the only fox around here. She's alone. She alone is already too much. My second morning acquaintance was running around near the edge of the forest, the stray dog with a mangy tail. She sniffed around and marked the naked berry bushes and ran toward the other ones. Elisa showed up from under the hill.
За мной, девочка!
Zulka, follow me, girl. The dog's ears perked up. It barked in agreement and followed her lead. We ran further and further, exchanging snowballs, laughing and stumbling. Uh-oh. The winter forest towered in front of us, reaching for low clouds. We were at the edge of its shadow, bony and almost corporeal. See, this is like a little, like, it feels like a fae, right? Like a fairy is luring me into the forest. The fox hid behind a huge pine, clearly trying to get close to me to shove some snow down my collar. It was a good plan, but Zulka, who was running circles around her, gave her away. I broke off a dry branch and decided to act even trickier. I put my hat on it and peeked it from the side of the pine. I'll make her think that it's my head. I bit my lips to stop myself from laughing, then jumped out from the other side and performed a point-blank throw. Elisa probably cracked my plan right away, but still let me win 3-1. I was wounded in the leg, and she got shot in the chest and in the stomach, losing imaginary blood in front of my eyes. Pleading for mercy while also choking from laughter. Please, mercy! I'm dying!
Всё, живи!
Okay, I'll let you live.
Спасибо.
Thank you, O valiant knight. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Beck. I assume this creepy part is going to be coming back very shortly, as night begins to fall. She pretended to bow to me, then grabbed 2 handfuls of snow and, like a dying warrior, threw them my way in a last-ditch effort. I dodged her attack easily, laughing uncontrollably, and being mad at the same time. I finished her with 2 precise shots.
Живи, живи.
You let me live,
Научи
huh?
меня жить, разумный
Learn me how to do it, if you're so
Молчи,
smart.
ты умерла
Teach me how to
уже.
do it. Shut up, you're already dead. How? When did that stop me?
кое-что
Let's play something more interesting. She dashed behind the trees after blowing snow in my direction.
Раз, два. Прилети сама.
1, 2, time to play with you.
4, 5.
3,
Время
4,
поиграть.
5, the hour will arrive. I hesitantly moved toward the windfall.
6. Дыбом волчья шерсть.
6 on end, the wolf's grey fur will stand. I thought I was a real tail gliding across the bushes. I rushed to the intertwined branches that helped Elisa hide, as if something was pulling me there. I had to move them, tear them off like spiderweb. Branches sprang back in my face, but it felt like they were caressing my cheeks and not hitting them. I was sweating, but still had a lot of stamina left. I'll make sure to catch you, little fox. Elisa's voice was wandering among the windfall.
8.
7, 8, stomp your hooves and wait. Seems like I underestimated you. I thought you were just a boy. Confident that she was behind the dry pine, I rushed to intercept her. But the local acoustics tricked me. Her voice was already echoing from the other side. And you're a bunny. So nimble, so cute. A snowball flew at me from the shadows, whistling near my ear. I'll show you a bunny. That's the third reference to us as a bunny.
Дай мне зайчика, дай.
Yeah, do that, show me. A bright fox fur coat flashed near a rotten stump. I rushed there, jumping over a ravine.
Выходи скорей.
Bunnies, show yourself, be brave. Give the beasts from fresh meat they crave. Oh, I don't like the sound of that. This furry collar that flashed from every tree was the most important thing in the world for me. My lips started trembling as if I was a cowboy that was choosing his prey. One jump, and the fox was in my embrace. So smooth and desirable.
Всё, всё, всё.
Fine, fine, you win. She leaned against the scratchy bark and started
Давай
puffing.
немного отдохнем.
Please, let's have a break.
Слишком быстрые.
You're too fast, too strong, too tasty. Satisfied, I put my hands on my sides, waiting for the spoils of war from the defeated girl. But what I got instead was a sly snowball in my smug face. The cunning fox ran away, roaring with laughter. But I wasn't even mad about it. I needed to catch up to Elisa to tackle and subdue her. Tear off her mask and see everything.
Бедный зайчик прыгает.
Poor little bunny jumps around
Сосен.
in the wet pine forest,
Страшнолапый волк.
afraid of getting eaten by the big gray wolf,
Ветер.
thinking of hot
Прижимает
summer,
уши.
keeping his ears low,
Косится.
sneaking glances at the hidden sky. The sky really did disappear under the trees. I moved using the barking Zulka as a guide since she was closely following her owner, and I was getting closer. And the same trail I imagined back at school blinked under my feet. It turned out that running like there's no tomorrow was so easy. Faster, higher, faster. I felt like there was a well of untapped potential inside me, and I drew from it. My muscles were buzzing, my lungs felt bigger, and I felt much stronger overall. Even my vision became sharper. I saw every icy branch, every dent in the bark. Something colorful was lying near the bushes. A piece of clothing? Another colorful spot to the right. Elisa was losing her clothes on the run, like shedding her skin. I also used my teeth to take off my mittens, excited by all that. I'll get naked and feel all the wind to the last drop. Faster. Wow. Not a good idea. We are getting enchanted. I reached out to take off my hat to throw away everything that stops me from running wild in this. Oops. Endless forest. The backpack slowed me down, so I threw it in the snow, along with all the pens that were inside, with all the notebooks, all of my drawings on the sidelines of a dinosaur, and a dinosaur for Olya. Oh boy. So is this what happened to Vova? Olya. Suddenly a clear picture appeared in my mind. My sister, standing still near a window, basking in the dusking sun. Her small, childish palms are pressed to the glass, leaving marks when they warmed it up. She could warm up the whole world like that. She's looking at the taiga and saying my name.
Тоша!
Tosha! I stopped, took a deep breath, and realized how rash and stupid I was. Trying to undress in the middle of a forest while chasing a fox. I returned to get my backpack, as if it was part of my being I dropped. I remembered again how my sister didn't like to be left home alone, how she asked me to come home faster. What kind of brother am I? Running in the forest that I used to scare my sister with. I'm having fun while she's not even allowed over the doorstep. Sit in your cage, Olya, and watch the same cartoons over and
Тоша!
over. Tosha.
Да, Оленька.
Yes,
Тоша,
Olya?
а куда?
Tosha, where are you?
Куда так скачешь, чмошник?
Where are you hopping to, fucker? Benji is back. Turning on the camera. Although he's getting on the desk, so we'll see if he gets back. Alright, bud. But you can't rub against the mic. People can hear that. Go ahead and get in your spot. Good boy. You laying down? Good boy. Yeah. Dun it. Dun it. Benji is our shark. Where are you hopping to, fucker? From the darkness behind the pines, just like cavemen from their cave, appeared smirking Semyon with a bunch of his cronies. Great.
Ну, здорово, Антошка.
Yo, Antosh, yeah, it's Antashka.
Не вышло с быстро, да?
Thought you could slip away.
Очкарик в жопе Сарик на.
Check out this four-eyed freak, eh? They surrounded me like a carnivorous pride, making me step back. They do look like rotisserie chickens for sure. Jeepers, let us know what you're making. The smell of sweat and tobacco attacked my nostrils. The inside of my mouth felt salty, as if I had licked a
Alisa.
battery. Alisa! The name of my companion turned into a stifled cough.
Sorry.
Alexa, stop. Alisa is way too close to her name. Pines were swaying back and forth like solemn guardians. I was frantically looking everywhere. I dreamt of finding that fox among the trees, expected her to come to my rescue. But only the wind replied to my
Где
pleas.
Алиса?
Where's Alisa?
Что вы с ней сделали?
Okay, Beck. Ooh, planting a peach tree. Awesome. What did you do to her? I shuddered after hearing my own voice. It sounded unnatural, rough, and
Какая
scary.
еще Алиса?
Who the fuck is Alisa?
У тебя чё, кукуха
Did
поехала?
you hit your head?
Не ссы, ща вмиг вылечу.
Whatever. We'll fix you right up. The fatso spit through the gap in his teeth and pushed me so hard that I hit my back against the
Ну
tree.
как, полегчало?
So, feeling better now? It can't be. Did Elisa really lure me into this trap to these bastards? No, I can't believe this.
Глядите-ка, пацаны. А здесь он
Looky
не
here,
такой борзый, как в
guys.
школе.
He's not so brave here compared to the school.
Вылитый терпила.
A total wimp, eh?
Сука, приезжая.
You fucked
Не
with
на
the
того
wrong
руку
guy.
поднял.
Transfer student. Semyon was moving toward me, readying his fist. In that moment, the other delinquent in track pants made a loud whistle, and the hulking boy lowered his hand. It was unexpected. Seems like Barbarin wasn't the leader of this gang. In reality, they were all listening to the boy who was looking like a small carnivore with very strong and very sharp teeth. Probably decided to have some fun at my
Слышь,
expense
Гондон
first.
Батькович.
Okay. Not enjoying that word in this.
Это что ли твоя Алиса?
Is this your Elisa? Only then I noticed Zulka beside my legs, trembling from the cold, snow plastered all over its fur. The delinquent squatted in front of the dog and beckoned it with his
Ой, ты
hand.
батюшки.
Oh
Алиса,
my.
ко мне,
Elisa,
сучка
come here, you
блохастая.
flea-ridden bitch. The others let out nasty laughs. The dog's ears perked up and she started carefully
Иди
moving
сюда.
closer.
Иди,
Yeah,
дам кое-чего.
come here, I've got something for you. Oh, motherfucker. The dog didn't even have a chance to sniff him when this animal abuser caught it by the ear and kicked it right under the tail so hard it flew into the nearest snow pile, squealing. The whole gang burst out laughing, and my heart got encrusted in ice. Even the birds that were perched up on the tree branches let out frightening caws. At the edge of my vision, I saw something flash in the illusory twilight of the sleeping forest. Or was that just the bushes moving their icy branches in the wind?
Ромка, она ж больше
Romka,
спать не сможет.
it won't be able to shit after
Давай
this.
теперь я.
Let me kick the fucking thing one more
Второй
time.
раз ебану.
Two
Минус
negatives
на
will make a
минус.
positive. But the stray was already nowhere to be seen.
Чего ты, баран?
What? Are you an idiot?
Втолкуй его на очкарику, где его
Go
место.
show the
Только
Four
так,
Eyes his
чтобы он
place.
понял.
In a way, he'll understand.
За ним кофякна.
Yeah, he fucking owes ya.
Отстанет тебе при всем классе все.
This wimp whacked ya in front of the whole class.
СБ.
Sure thing. Semyon brought a sizable signet ring with some geometric shape carved in it up to my
Ща,
face.
парашник, я тебе
In
этой
a moment,
печаткой так
I'll hit
зарежу.
your
Клеймо на всю жизнь останется.
face so hard it'll leave a mark for the rest of your life. Where did all of my inner strength and bravery go? Stop! A wheezy whisper left my lips, and my head tilted forward, hitting Samon's fist. Red sparks flew from my eyes.
Бяша, подсоби.
Yesha, give me a hand. Semyon gave me a rough push toward the bastard with the slanting eyes, and he tripped me. He fell on the sharp crust of ice, or I fell on the sharp crust of ice, and the fatso stepped on my hand, preventing me from getting out. A painful groan escaped my
Слыхали, как
throat.
заныл?
Did you hear him whimper?
Ты случаем не пи...
Okay, so this is already going down in value for me because I really hate that they're using that word. Absolutely hate it. I started to lose my breath from anger and resentment. The pain was growing. My ear was hot and pulsating pain was shooting through it like it was cut off and a ball of metal was sewn in
Чё
its
молчишь,
place.
Антошка?
Why so silent, Antoshka?
Отвечай, ты педик.
That's 4 times now. At this moment, I felt pure, unbridled rage, the amalgamation of my anger. Like the sprouts ink, it rose up from the depths of my mind, filling all my thoughts. Morons.
Что
Did you
мой
know
отец
that my
тот
dad
Педик?
Alright. Fear and anger were grappling inside me
Он
like
айкидо
mad
занимался.
dogs.
Поняли?
He knows Aikido? Got
Еще
it.
воевал.
He's
Таких,
also a
как вы,
vet.
с закрытыми глазами
He'll kill the
убивает.
likes of you with his eyes
Я только
closed.
слово скажу, он...
One word from me and he'll... Ramka lifted up his arm, stopping my turn of lies, and made a couple of steps forward. Thank you for coming up, giving me a kiss, and going back to your seat. What a cute boy. Tuscan chicken. Ooh. With spaghetti, cinnamon applesauce, and chocolate cherry cake, and some cheese. That's a fantastic lunch. Semyon slowly backed off, giving me an opportunity to stand up. Did he believe me? Or was he confused by my face twisted with
Воевал,
rage?
говоришь?
A vet, you say?
Мой батя тоже воевал.
My dad also fought in the
В
war.
Афгане.
In
А
Afghan.
твой?
And
мой.
yours? Mine too.
Да, и в каких войсках, интересно?
Oh, really? And what force did he serve in? I stumbled. Fear chomped at my rage's throat and made it
Да он
bleed.
фуфло гонит, Ромка.
He's full of shit, Ramka.
Бля, будуна.
Sure as fuck, eh?
Думал, меня так просто развести?
Did you think I'm so easy to trick?
Я тебя, сучонка,
I can see
насквозь
through
вижу.
all your lies, little bitch. There was a nasty smile on his face now. This did not bode well
Ты
for
сам
me.
себе приговор подписал.
Well, you've asked for this.
В школе тебя училка
A
спасла.
teacher
Ну, а
saved you
теперь
at school,
всё.
but here,
Хана тебе.
you're fucked.
Ого.
That's
Давай,
right.
Антошка, молись
Pray
только,
that they
по весне
find your
нашли.
dead body come spring, eh?
Сидел бы ниже травы, был бы
If
целочек.
only you stayed silent. Wouldn't have lost a hair.
Жирного стукнул, одно дело.
Hitting fatso's one
Но
thing.
про Афган пиздеть, где мой
But
батя
fucking around with
подпольный.
stuff like Afghan,
Долг
where my dad
интернациональный.
spent time under fire
Дашь ты Марго,
on
блядь.
international duty, and fucking that's Margot. A desert region in the southern province of Helmand, and yeah, I knew that one. It can be translated in English as Plain of Death. During the conflict in Afghanistan, the Soviet army destroyed countless drug caravans headed to Iran there. It does have a place of realism, but we can also accomplish that without using the word. I would argue that giving that word power, even as in a game like this, is can be for one triggering, but you can also accomplish that many other different ways while still having the same punch. So, oh, you're good. I appreciate yours too. And I like that you're trying to see the good in it. I have opinions about that for other groups of people as well, where people use words, slur words to describe people, even in fiction. It's just something that doesn't need to happen anymore. But, I mean, this is also made in a different country, so there is a different culture and a different okay versus not okay, so there is that too to consider. But ultimately, I can only look at it from my perspective, so. Well, that's good that it doesn't affect you, and that's good to know, and thank you for sharing that with me. So yeah, everybody is entitled to their own opinion, and I don't know. I always err on the side of thinking about how it would affect somebody the worst, and go from there, right? So I'm glad. I just noticed this guy's coat here, the North Fake, instead of the brand that really is. They have it, the North Fake. That's funny. Yeah, I'm just trying to champion for those that might be affected. That's all. Right, Benji? Yeah. You keep knocking stuff off my shelf. Alright, back into
Сёма,
it.
ушатай-ка его.
Yeah, exactly. Give him a good pounding, Sioma. The delinquents closed in on me again, and I ended up in front of Semyon. Blood was pounding in my temples. Branches were swaying back and forth, as if whispering something, giving me hope. I gritted my teeth, fighting the thought that I looked silly, and I took a boxing stance I often saw in
Пират и
movies.
Майк Тайсон.
What are you, fucking Mike Tyson? This was my first fight ever. I'll remember it for the rest of my life, if I don't kick the bucket, of course. At the edge of my vision, I noticed the darkness rise again, as if someone was walking back and forth there. I sensed Roma's claws grab my backpack. Hey, Platon. Platon. How are you? Welcome in.
Манатки, Антошка.
Give me your shit, Antoshka. Yep, Russian in the 90s.
Махаться мешает.
It'll get in the way. I was about to refuse, unwilling to cooperate with the bastard, but then he fished a butterfly knife out of his pocket with one smooth motion, spun it as if showing off, and put the blade to my neck.
Слышь, Фрей, расслабься, а то больно будет.
Hey, easy buddy. I can make it painful. I let out a cloud of steam instead of words. Ramka pulled with all his might and put my backpack, and my backpack ended up in his hands, calm and relaxed. An insidious smile on his face. He looked into my
Ты от нас
backpack.
что-то скрываешь, да?
Are you hiding something from us?
У меня в школе какая-то
Some
крыса
rat
снег
stole my
погрыз.
school
Ща
shoes.
поглядим, может это был...
Let me see if it was.
Опачки!
And what's this? Ramka gave me a dubious smile.
Так, а что это у нас здесь?
So what have we here? My text and notebooks fell in the snow. He was holding my backpack in one hand and something weirder in the other. It looked like a mask. What? Tiny Bunny. Roll credits. Roma lifted it high as if showing to someone else, to someone in the treetops, in the twilight among the trees. An old bunny mask. Long, worn-out ears, barely visible nose and whiskers, mangy fur on the sides. Where did it come from? Who put it there? Semyon laughed.
Новый год уже прошел, мудила.
It's way past New Year's,
Или ты
moron.
реально поехавший?
Or are you really a
Это не
loony?
мое. Да
It's
как
not
не
mine.
твоё, В твоем
How come
портфеле
it's
недавно.
not? It was in your backpack. Ramka was watching the scene unfold with an evil smile on
А
his
знаешь
face.
что?
You know what?
Надевай.
Put it
Совершенно.
on.
Надевай,
Why?
говорю.
Because I'm telling you to.
Попрыгаешь перед нами. Зайчик.
You'll hop like a bunny for
Давай,
us.
давай.
Yeah,
Или
come
без штанов
on.
домой пойдёшь на.
Or we'll leave you pantless, eh? Anything but this. What if someone from our class will pass by? I
Сёма,
won't.
надень-ка на него.
Sioma, put it on him. Biasha rushed to his friend's side and took the worn-out mask from him with a buffoonish bow. Ah, so we're both Russian. Awesome. Clayton, welcome. Sniper, welcome. If you guys can keep it, it's really cool that you both can speak English, or Russian. But if we could just keep the chat to English in here, just so my mods can keep an eye on everything, and also so that I can communicate with you and everybody else can. But welcome in both. I really appreciate you both being here. Then he passed it to Semyon, who was already rubbing his hands in anticipation. I looked around the pine woods, as if waiting for help, as if the shadows that writhed around us would take pity on me and take my side. Branches looked like arms twisted in unusual angles. Blackened bark was their charred skin, and the darkness was the smoke they produced. I can't run, won't get away, they'll catch me. And then,
Только учти, Сёма,
let me warn you, Sioma.
если он скакать не станет, ты сам
If
за него
he
поскачешь.
won't hop, you'll take his place. Got it?
Этот чмошник и не станет.
This piece of shit
Да
won't.
погляди на него, он же
Just look
дурик
at him.
конченый.
He's a total
Этот
loony.
дурик тебе уже раз в жбан
His
залетит.
This loony has already smacked you in the
Ромка
face.
прав.
Ramka's right.
Да
Ramka's
ладно
right.
ты. Вот
Come
когда
on,
у него
Fatso,
придет-
assert your fucking
Или сам у
dominance.
нас запрыгаешь так, что
Or we'll make you
титьян
hop so hard,
рассыпется.
your pig tits will fall off. I'm just saying, just make sure that you're speaking in English here, just so we can all communicate with you. That's all. Or we'll hop. Okay, we got that part so far. You must indeed be scared of Ramka. Semyon swore silently and glared at me.
Вот,
Here.
это чтобы маска хорошо налезла.
It'll fit better this way. He hurled a huge ball of spit on the inside of the plastic bunny face and put it close to mine. His spit looked like a squashed spider. Ramka's face twisted, his he spasmed like a beast, like he wanted to tell Semyon something, but then he suddenly stopped. Yeah, it's really gross. Especially since they talked about his rotting teeth earlier. Semyon was still close by with a disgusting smirk on his face and a terrible smell coming from his mouth.
Надевай, быра!
Put it on,
А то
fast,
урою.
or you're dead. The mask almost looked even more disgusting now, yet, despite everything, I felt like it was a chance for salvation. It could become my second skin. If only I was to put it on. If only my face was to touch this bumpy surface. I'm sure the fur will glitter, the ears will tremble like they're alive. I just need to put it on and Semyon and his friends will be gone. Forever. We got another decision to make. Let's save. Okay, so let's post it. Do you want me to put on the mask? Or not put on the mask? And I'm gonna make that 2 minutes. Alright, go ahead and vote, everyone. It is up. Remember, only vote 10. Hell nah, you want the kid to go apeshit and go down swinging. So, one thing you can do, Sniper, is you could always whisper if you wanted to. There's always that. But I'm also curious if he... I have to use a translator often when I'm in German streams. Yeah. Alright. So, don't put on the mask, put on the mask. I kind of want to put it on, but I kind of don't, so... Vote is to tell them to fuck off. Okay, the people have spoken. Alright. Here we go. For some reason, Ramka's disappointment with Seaman's made me feel brave. Semyon made me... I keep doing that. Something was wrong in their crew. Some old disagreement. I should cut the old wound open. I need to get into their heads, right into their skulls, their warm brains. You know what, Semyon? My own voice, smooth and determined, was a huge surprise. I stepped forward and calmly proclaimed,
Иди нахуй.
"Fuck off." It felt like the whole world was paused for a second and then unpaused right away. Semyon's pupils widened. The mask fell off of his meaty hands. He took a while to process my words, looking stunned, as if he was trying to solve a difficult math problem. The answer he got made him mad, judging by the bulging veins on his forehead. How can we see his forehead with that hat on? We others just observed the scene silently, waiting for the inevitable payback. You're dead! His voice tore off icy crust from the nearby branches. It rained down with a melodic laugh. And then I heard whispers from the treetops, from holes in the ground, from animal layers. As if Elisa was in one of the snow piles like a prompter in his booth trying to get through to me. With no sign of fear, rather with a tinge of playful rage, that's how this low hum sounded to me. I stared into the clearing between the trees. An orange spot flashed there. A fox, an absolutely regular fox, stepped out of the bushes. I blinked in bewilderment. The animal fell on its tummy and was staring back at me with its burning eyes. Its furry tail was sweeping snow left and right, raising the white powder. Look at me, bitch! I was still looking past him at the fox that was smiling at me. She grinned with all her teeth, while digging a hole in the snow pile, moving her paws as if dancing. Her sharp face was covered in snow, her whiskers were trembling. The fox put her face to the ground, shining platters of her eyes filled up with liquid silver. I returned my gaze to Semyon's twisted face. He was growling something unintelligible. The fox backpedaled and disappeared into the darkness, and the forest breathed at me, whispering, "Tell the pig to shut up." I slapped my own cheek to chase away the unfamiliar voice, but the message still lingered in my subconscious. This hint was my chance. I stared intensely at Semyon's nose. He was almost oinking from anger. I directed my words at him.
Заткнись, свинья.
Shut up, pig. Semyon looked paralyzed, as if the medium Alan Chumak hypnotized him, stripping him of his will. So Alan Chumak is a Soviet and Russian TV personality that represented himself as a healer and a medium. He claimed to acquire his healing power during his investigation into fake mages. He had invented the idea of charging all sorts of items for the viewers through their TV screens. Jars of water, photos of cosmetics. He died from an unknown cause. Everybody that's listed is dead. Come on. Come on. Come back. Yeah. Come on. There you go. I felt the aftertaste of Elisa's gum in my mouth. Berries. It felt like a pull of a card from some greasy deck, and it turned out to be a trump. My brain was at its limit. Polina's words about Semyon getting worse since he moved here flashed in front of my eyes, like subtitles in a movie. All the pieces fell in place. My joker went flying into his pimply face. I was speaking slow on purpose, dragging out every syllable.
Есть у меня подозрение. Ты не просто так
I
перевелся в новую школу.
suspect that you had a reason to transfer to another school.
Сбежал, да? Как
You
крыса
fled,
сбежал.
right? Fled like a rat.
Потому что сверстники бывают жестокими.
Because kids
С
can be
кто
cruel
не такой, как
with those
они.
who are different.
С теми, кто толще их, например.
Who's fatter
Yeah.
or weaker than them?
И ты решил издеваться над другими.
So you decide to
как
bully
издевались над
others,
тобой.
just like they bullied you. I saw Semyon's Adam's apple twitch like it was a plump action rifle getting reloaded.
Ты отыгрываешься за старые обиды.
You're trying to get payback for the old
Хочешь
wounds.
казаться тем, кем не
You want to
являешься.
pretend that you're different now.
Но знаешь, ничего не
But you know
меняется по
what?
щелчку пальца.
Nothing changes with the snap of a finger.
Знаешь, кем ты был?
Should I tell you who you were? The forest held its breath, listening in fascination.
Знаешь, кто ты есть?
Should I tell you who you still are?
Пацаны.
Good guys. Yasha was about to come to his friend's aid, but Ramka stopped him, whipping out his controlling look. Yasha turned around and put his hands in his pockets.
Продолжай, Тоха.
Go on, Toha. Ramka's words ricocheted from the rough
Знаешь,
trunks.
кем ты будешь всегда?
Should I tell you who you will always be? Semyon looked around
Второе
helplessly.
имя, настоящее имя,
Your
которое
second
дали
name,
тебе
the
одноклассники.
true name that your classmates gave you.
Откуда
Well, why?
ты?
Why do you? Ramka and Vyasha looked at Semyon like he was their prey now. I even thought I saw them lick their parched lips. The wind was also full of anticipation, dragging my scattered textbooks across the road.
Свинья!
A pig! My thunderous scream echoed through the forest. Trees and ravines enjoyed it. The echo repeated it over and over, doubling, even tripling it. Ramka grinned with all his teeth. Semyon's hands fell to his sides. He was on the brink of crying. I used this to my advantage. I threw the strongest punch I could muster. Wabam! It was much stronger than the one in school. I rammed my fist into his scarred face and it produced a cracking sound. His pimply cheek danced like jelly under my fist. Pow, right in the kisser, yeah. Semyon let out a sigh and plopped on the icy road. He was touching the place where I hit him, still oblivious to what had just happened and how did it come to this. After looking at him for a while, I realized I was smiling. Fatso returned to his senses and threw himself at me, his face twisted with anger. But I dodged his charge quite easily after the great practice I had playing with Elisa. How are we doing, Erasmus? Ooh, that's poop. He fell in the snow and landed right next to a pile of dog feces. This made him squeal in agony. Oh, the justice, the karma that he's falling in the dog's poop.
Ай, красава, Тоха!
Attaboy,
Думал, ты
Toha.
сосунок, а он как
I thought you
жертвя
were a
делал.
wimp, but you've gotten the fatso a good whooping. Semyon started sobbing after he realized the direness of the situation.
Сука!
Fuck.
Че я бабушке
What will I say to
когда
Grandma?
увидит, когда увидит?
She'll kill me when she sees
Чего ты
this.
там скулишь?
What are you whining
Тебя с
about?
параши не слышно.
Get your head out of your ass. Semyon's futile attempts at cleaning his coat caused a fit of giddiness from Biasha. I also smiled, angrily twisted my lips.
Мастёвина!
Lucky fucker.
А ну
Hey?
вставай, скачи, как зайчик.
Hey, get up and hop like a
Только
bunny.
желательно подальше, а то от
Just
тебя
stay away
уже
from
дерьмом
us, you
несёт.
stink of
Фу!
shit. Ew. Oink. Fuck you guys. His eyes red from tears stopped on me. I didn't even have time to erase the smile from my face when Semyon lunged at me like a hawk and clawed at my face with his twisted fingers with gnawed fingernails. I threw a kick toward the layer of fat under the coat. At the same moment, the world became fuzzy, the black trees and faces of my
А
classmates all
чё на
blurred.
это скажешь, сука?
How do you like that, bitch? He threw up a hand holding my glasses victoriously, but his triumph was short-lived. Two blurry silhouettes rushed forward. Sayoma's former friends. I heard the familiar sound of someone being slapped around.
По-пацански поступаешь,
This is against the rules, asswipe.
Гони линзы назад!
Give back the oculars now. Oh, he took our glasses. Got it.
Дерись по понятиям, на!
Nails getting long, Jeeps. Yeah, I have to cut my nails today. Fight like a fucking man. Fight like a fucking man, eh? Judging from Semyon's sighing and grumbling, he didn't agree to his friend's terms.
Вы чё
What the fuck? Ouch, ow. Betraying me for this piece of shit. Ow, ow, ow. Fuck you, we aren't even friends anymore. Oink. A huge figure tumbled in the snow, barely managed to break out from the rain of punches and ran for the hills, dissolving into
Завтра
the
в школе
twilight.
тебя выцепим,
We'll
хрюндель!
get you at school tomorrow, Porky.
точно! Да
That's
базар
right.
ответишь, на!
You'll answer for this,
Горло
eh?
тебе перережу,
I'll
слышишь?
cut your throat, you hear me? Ramka and Biasha started throwing pieces of ice at the fleeing Semyon, but then switched to hurling mockery. Porky. The snow rustled. Kids suck. Two boys, clearly out of breath, approached me. I was finally able to make their faces out. My glasses. Ramka cursed under
Гондон
his
этот
breath.
стащил.
The fucker got
Зато
him.
мы ему всыпали одну сына!
At least we whipped his ass real good, eh?
Вот с таким
He'll come to
сукиным
school with a
приплётом.
shiner this big. Biasha let out a throaty laugh. This is not good. We lost our glasses. Hyenas and the Lion King would envy a laugh like that. So, I was bullied pretty extensively as a kid. So some of this is really it's bringing up some things. Now, when you go with them through the woods, if you look closely, there will be that guy from the school. Remember how it looks. Okay. Good to know.
Ну и дела. Тох,
Oh
ты без
boy.
очков хоть что-то
Can you
видишь?
see without your glasses, Toha? A little bit. A hand holding a red rectangle protruded from the mist. Ramka was offering me a cigarette. My treat. Yeah, I'm good. It's just yeah, I I was picked on mercilessly all through grade school until I came to my own. So, I never did this, where I joined a group of bullies. I refuse. I squinted, trying to make out the brand, even though I didn't know anything about cigarettes. I haven't tried smoking yet, and I really didn't want to start. I wonder if they'll keep hanging out with me if I won't adopt all their habits. After a moment of hesitation, I shook my
Спортсмен, что ли?
head.
Ха.
Into
Ты
sports,
в
huh?
глаза долбишься.
Are you blind or
Не видел,
something?
как он Семёна четко
Did
вмазал?
you see how he thrashed Semyon?
Базара ноль, Mortal Kombat.
Real deal. Mortal fucking
Плохо у нас
combat.
Рокки Бальбоа.
Toha here's Rocky
Тогда уж Иван
Balboa.
Драго.
More like Ivan
Курим одну на
Drago.
двоих, гони Жигу.
We'll split this one. Give me a light. Ramka pulled out a cigarette with his lips, and Biasha scrambled to find a
Toha.
lighter inside his
Что я
pockets.
сказать хотел?
So, Toha, back to what I was saying.
Не держи зла, брат.
Don't be mad,
Тебя
bro.
на вшивость проверяли.
We were just testing you. I mean,
Mask.
your glasses and this mask. Biasha lit a giant bliss. Is it Balinci? And Ramka smacked his lips, taking a long
Меня,
puff of his
кстати, Ромка
cigarette.
зовут.
I'm Romka, by the way. He squeezed my hand so hard that my fingers hurt. His palms, full of dry, torn blisters, implied that he wasn't wearing a
Это вот
tracksuit
Бяша.
for nothing. And this is
Ты
Bayasha.
не очкуй. Со свиньей мы лично
Don't worry,
пообщаемся.
we'll have a talk with Porky. He let out a cloud of smoke in my face, which instantly made me cough. Yeah.
Пойду пока сумку соберу, а то темнеет.
Oh, I'll go gather my stuff. It's getting dark. I bowed to pick up my now empty backpack and look for its contents, hoping that my new buddies will disappear when I turn around. But they just stood there, passing a cigarette back and forth. Two small silhouettes with a small light wandering between them, with the pine trunks as a backdrop. They were waiting for me to finish picking up my textbooks while whispering something to each other. Ramka was the one talking most of the time, though. Biasha was constantly sniffing with his running nose and mumbling in agreement. At that moment, I saw the old battered bunny mask from the paper mache among the snow-covered notebooks. Its empty eye sockets could be filled with anything, with any eyes. But this mask looked like it only wanted mine. Where did it come from, and why was it in my backpack? I picked it up with utmost care, as if it could bite off my finger at any moment. It was just a carnival mask with a frozen spit on the inside. Still, something felt wrong about it. Something was written inside underneath the layers of old newspapers. I could hear 1,000 tiny bodies rustle in trembling fur. Something was trying to chew its way out. Ugh. Maggots.
Готов, Тоха?
You ready, Toha? Thank you, Jeepers. Ramka's voice pulled me out of my nightmarish delusion, and I threw the mask away in horror. Somewhere, I won't be able to see it anymore. My innards were twisted from disgust, but I stood up, trying not to show it. Whether those maggots were real or just one of my delusions, I didn't care. All this was too much for a single day. I wanted to get home as soon as
Ладно,
possible.
пацаны, мне пора уже.
Right, guys, I
Свидания.
need to go. See ya. I held out my hand towards the two silhouettes to say goodbye. A couple of dark, thin lines trembled in front of me. They stood without moving, as if studying me.
С кедрами закорешиться решил.
Hey, decided to buddy up with
Мы
a
здесь
cedar?
вообще.
We're over here. I realized that Ramka's voice was coming from behind and
Деревья
turned around
хреновые,
embarrassed.
кенты.
Trees make for shit buddies.
Ты не ссы. Мы тебя до дома
Relax, we'll
доведем,
escort
а
you
ты как
home. You're as
слепой
blind
котик.
as a newborn kitten.
Так здесь живем и
Without us,
загниешь.
you'll end up dead around here. A cigarette butt hit against the stump with a flurry of sparks and startled started sizzling in the snow near my feet. The boys let out a strained laugh and took me by the arms. When we were leaving the clearing, I turned around in hopes to see Elisa. Or at least some orange dot. What if? But I only saw a rumbling tractor that was creeping out from the corner. A silhouette appeared on the side of the road out of the fog. We made space to let that person through. Because of my blurry vision in twilight semi-dark, it felt like it was a ghost floating toward us. Got a band-aid on his bridge of his nose. When the silhouette got close, I was able to make out the feature of an adult man. I recognized his dumpy outline. He was smoking near the school in the morning. The man gifted us with a busy stare of his cold eyes and moved forward, disappearing into the
Нет
darkness.
горба, зато зайчья губа.
What a huge hair lip! I was afraid that the unknown man will hear this offensive rhyme, but he was already too far away. We continued our journey. We were going alongside a still fire road in silence. The silence felt oppressing, coupled with my lack of vision, so I spoke.
Даша зовут?
Why do they call you Biasha? The Buryat kid just smiled in reply. Cause I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing, eh? Bullshit.
Кургу гнать, это он умеет.
Fucking around is
А
what
звать
he
его
does
так, потому
best.
что блеет, как овца.
He's got his nickname because he
Всё
bleats like
после
a
того,
sheep.
как из черного гаража
It started after
выпутался.
he returned alive from the black garage. Biasha's face contorted at these words. I could see it even through the veil of blindness. He swayed and started mumbling something unintelligible.
С ним
See,
так всегда, как об этой
always
херне
happens every
заговоришь.
time someone brings it up.
Ты
What are you talking
серьезно
about?
про эту страшилку не
Did
знаешь?
you really not hear the
На
horror story?
черной улице.
On one pitch black
Черный,
street,
черный
in a
подворотник,
pitch black
стоит
alleyway,
черный
there's a
причерный
pitch
гараж.
black
Он
garage.
знает о тебе все.
It knows everything about you. I don't know that game. No,
Где ты
Sniper.
живешь? Что
Where you
любишь?
live,
С кем
what you like,
дружишь?
who are your
Наверняка слышал о
friends.
пропавших детях.
I'm sure you heard about the missing kids.
Это тут не первый год происходит.
This has been going on for a
Все
while
местные
here.
знают, кто здесь
The
замешан.
local folk know who's behind
Даже
all of
взрослые.
that. Even the
Вообще,
adults.
везет тебе? Ты вот
You
в
got
лесу,
lucky,
считай,
you live
живешь.
right on the
Он
edge
к
of the
тебе так
forest.
просто не сунется.
This thing won't come there without
Тупо
a good
сечет, что
reason.
среди деревьев будет
It knows that
выделяться.
it'll look too foreign
У
among the
нас эта хрень
trees.
может где угодно
While in our
поджидать.
area, this
Иногда
piece
в
of
конце
crap can hide
переулка или
anywhere.
возле
Be it at the end
дома.
of an alleyway or
Ещё.
near your house.
Идешь такой себе
Also,
ночью. И тут
You'll
раз,
be just going somewhere at
Он
night.
стоит,
Bam!
где
You'll
совсем
see
недавно
it
пусто было.
someplace that was empty
Дверь
just a
открыта.
while ago.
внутри
Its
мрак.
door open, pitch dark
тут
inside, and then Yasha pulled his cape over his head and started howling on a high trembling note,
Ладно,
trying to silence Ramka.
поехали.
Fine, forget it. I was trying to process Ramka's story, but I couldn't figure out what to think of it. It's just like this mimic garage that eats people. During the short time, it's actually really creepy. Short time I've been in the snow-laden village, I realized one thing. A lot of people here had some sort of experience with something they couldn't explain. I looked at Biasha, who was pit-pattering to the side.
Нахрена вы-то
Tell me,
сюда
Toha,
переехали?
why the hell did you move here? It's a warehouse. Ah, very nice. Inspiration, Erasmus. I heaved a deep sigh while looking at my feet. Somewhere down below, the tips of my boots scooped up fog. I spoke words that I recited countless times. Dad has a new
Мама в
job
поселке
here,
раньше жила.
and my mom
Давно
used to
ещё
live
при
here,
Союзе.
back in the Soviet days.
Здесь же нечего делать,
There's
только
nothing
гнить.
to do here but
Ну,
rot
или как
away.
Пяша, по
Or,
лесам
well,
шастать.
like Biasha here, wander around the forest. Biasha fearfully showed his face from under his hood, like a snail crawling
Он у
out
нас
of its shell, and
турист.
listened in. He's a
Летом
camper,
целую
see?
неделю в палатке
Spent a
жил.
whole week in a tent
Здесь,
last
рядом.
summer. Here,
Прикинь.
nearby. Cool shit, right?
Хотя от мамки
I
его
mean,
звезданутый
with a
я бы
crazy old
сам в
woman
лес
like his,
сбежал.
I'd also flee to the forest. We kept on going, but I felt like it was the forest that was sliding by. Pines were the black keys, and the space between them the white ones. The thicket was playing its old creaky melody, the melody of roots, bear caves, and forgotten taiga skets. Snowflakes flew around, creating a disturbing illusion that somebody was wandering the forest. Somebody tall, unnoticeable, ready to camouflage as a tree or a snow pile. And then, when nobody paid attention anymore, they'd just continue moving along the road. Right? Yeah. Meta comment there. But it was just a trick of the light. There was no one there. At least, I wanted to think that. Ramka suddenly stopped and said, "Hear that? Somebody's snooping around in the forest." The skin under my clothes started itching. My stomach started aching. We looked the way Ramka was pointing. Really tall, matching our speed. There was no tall silhouette behind the mass of pines. Just shadows creeping in the semi-dark. Slow shadows. Fast shadows. Hungry shadows. The snow that fell silently from the branch made me shiver and bite into my lip, as if something huge lifted off the tree and flew away. You mean like a giant owl? Maybe even toward us. Ramka picked up a pine cone from the ground and threw it into the thicket. Hey! His shout ricocheted as if it hit a tightly sprang drum. The echo mocked Ramka. Then the silence reigned again. Did you see that? I shook my head. The only things I could see were the vertical strokes of trees, the darkness, the snow, and the hazy silhouettes of my companions. I remember the rough textured trunks, the spongy lichen, and the icy bits on the bottoms of the ravines. Let's move faster. The sun is setting. Nice jeeps. I was again grabbed by the elbows and dragged along toward the forest, toward the pointy spires of branches. The sun had finally sunk behind the green peaks. The darkness arrived, spread its shoulders, and started spreading like smoke. It started snowing. Thick, sticky flakes, white flies, following the scent of dead meat. My vision had become a small island awash by dark waters. I was grasped by the same worrying feeling I had in the morning. I felt that somewhere far away, at the edge of my comprehension, I heard a very calm and silent flute playing. The sound was fragile, like ice in March, above the dormant waters of a bottomless lake. I scraped inside my ear with my finger to get rid of the auditory hallucination. The forest was silent. I imagined a child walking a night under the watchful eyes of pines. Did you know Vova Matyukin, the boy who was missing recently?
Разве мы не его ищем, сладкий?
Weren't we looking for him, sweetie? I shuddered and stopped, staring at the person who was guiding me. At Elisa in her unchanging fox mask. The girl was gently holding my elbow. What? Why are you... I lost sight of you. You did, because you were careless. I squinted in suspicion. How long were you following us? What do you mean, how long? I was always by your side. And who's us? Stunned, I looked around, but couldn't find Roma or Biasha. And then I felt her cold finger on my wrist. Let's go. We were going to look for Vova. Without a chance to catch my breath, she started dragging me along through the forest. I was enveloped by the smell of tangerines, coffee, and firecrackers. I felt like I was a small kid again, being led into the unknown. I saw the dark silhouettes of trees ahead. The bushes, hedgehogs, were wary, showing us their spines. Something rectangular appeared in our way, like a small box. I became petrified. I touched the edge of my eye, pulling back the eyelid as if trying to correct my vision. A garage made of metal rose up right from the windfall. It was big, no, huge, impossible to move without special equipment. Its walls were painted black, even blacker than the darkness around us. The fox sniffed around and it seemed like her mask twisted in disgust. This is the place. The worried voice of my companion scared me even more than this horrifying metal box.
Я
Here,
слышу его запах.
I can smell him.
Может, Вова играет с нами в
Maybe
прятки?
Vova is playing hide and seek with us, and he decided to hide inside. I felt like I saw smoke form tentacles that split off the garage, searching for something in the wilted leaves. These tentacles slithered along the snowy blanket, getting close to our feet, and there was a scary screeching sound coming from the other side of the huge black metal gates. Somebody or something definitely waited for us inside. And that, my friends, is where we're going to leave it off for today. Because we have a meeting at 12:30 with a friend. I'm meeting up with him. So, we're going to leave it on a cliffhanger. We don't have any other option but to knock. So this isn't a decision. This is our next path. So we'll see you all next time. I might stream later on today, perhaps. See how far we get, excuse me, into episode 2. But I hope you all stay safe, stay well, and stay excellent out there. For those of you who joined us recently, Sniper, and then, let's see, I'm not sure if Platon is still here, but thank you for joining us. I appreciate both of you, and we will see you again real soon. So long. Gonna go play some Minecraft with my buddy. Have a good night. See if we got somebody to host before we head out. Let's see here. Following. Okay. Alright, I see Viking is live again. Let's host Viking again. Or raid, I guess. Alright. I'll see you off, everyone. Thanks for being here. We'll see you again real soon. Be safe, be well, be excellent. Bye!